We're
where we
home.
are
We are here
playing
to talk about video games.
a video game.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Super Gamecast. This is where we talk about video games and the video game industry and jersey colors. I don't know.
Yeah, you know, SGK for all your jersey color needs.
That's right. We had a color change recently.
We did. We went from like orangish yellow to just fucking the most neon colors imaginable.
Our original theme was Super Saiyan because it was Super Gamecraft, and then my belief is due to the nature of this show where we started talking about game news as working adults. We transitioned slowly but surely into cyberpunk, and this is where we've ended up.
Yeah, and I like the visual design of it. I've been trying to be more optimistic, which I guess that is one of the themes of Cyberpunk, trying to find hope in a fucking dystopian nightmare society.
Certainly trying to navigate it.
Oh, well, like if you play like a lot of Cyberpunk and the like side quests, it's a lot of like, let's find hope in this obviously fucked situation.
I mean, yeah, it's the only way to live, really.
Yeah, and like I've been kind of trying to be more positive in terms of, the coverage we do here, even if like because I've been doing it, you fucking cover the news long enough, you're certainly gonna become a little bit jaded.
I mean, we got some news stories coming today, or it's like it's time to practice. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
It's something that has to be done. These are 2025 has been a year of like screw it, give up, and I think towards the latter half of 25 is just like things are gonna keep going bad, so it's time to start looking towards a future worth moving towards.
Yeah.
And we don't have a lot of solid direction, but we have the idea of what happens after. So, yeah, video games. If nothing else, one thing that I've really thought is that video games are in a fantastic spot despite all the deserved negative news that happens each and every week. I think video games are better than ever.
They are. I despite the best efforts of some terrible human beings, we soldier on.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and start with this news story. Let's practice that positivity. We're gonna get over here. This news story is about hardware sales and physical game spending in the U.S. Just had the worst November in 30 years. November being important because it's part of that quarter that has always been so very important to video games leading up to Christmas, and it ain't doing good.
Yeah, 1.6 million units of video game hardware were sold in the U.S. in November of 2025, which is the lowest since 1.5 million back in 1995. Hardware spending last month was 695 million, which is 27% less than last year, and the lowest on hardware spent since November of 2005. Usually one of the biggest months for video games because, Christmas shopping, as you said.
Yeah.
However, the average price paid for a new video game console this year was the highest all time, which is $439 on average, which is 11% higher than last year. PS5 was the best-selling console of that, followed by the Switch 2, and then the NEX Playground in terms of units sold, Xbox in terms of dollars spent. Physical software fell 14%. It should be noted this does not count digital software, which is the majority of game sales last month. Call of Duty 7... Oh, sorry, what?
I said, yep.
Call of Duty Black Ops 7 was the best-selling game in November, making it the 7th best-selling game of 2025. However, Call of Duty suffered a double-digit percentage full game dollar sales decline compared to November of the previous year. Asked on Blue Sky how console manufacturers could possibly lower hardware prices given factors such as tariffs and increased component prices, Circana Sales senior director says they likely cannot and will not. And if we see sharp pricing upticks in pricing because of components, it would potentially be catastrophic for the dedicated gaming device market.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I will say I am far less concerned about the software side of this.
Oh God, no.
I have almost no concerns about that. It tells me the very few consumers that still do buy physical, people who just think that they just have not moved on, or the most hardcore of consumers for whatever reason that really want to own physical. Those people are did a down step, but otherwise, that makes sense. That was always going to decline. The hardware one, yeah, it's I think it has less to do with the cost of the hardware, though that is a factor. Because what was the best selling one? The PlayStation. What was the one that had the biggest discounts and deals? It was the PlayStation.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Like the Switch 2 was not discounted at all. The Switch 1 was not discounted at all. The Xbox was not discounted at all. You can still get a PlayStation on discount today.
Man.
You like, at least time of recording, which depending on when you catch this, will either be later today or tomorrow in the case of the RSS feed. But yeah, you can still get a PlayStation for $100 off right now, or a PlayStation 5 Pro for $100 off. So you can get, if you're willing to go all digital, you can get a PlayStation for $400 right now.
Wow. All right.
It's the 825 gig and it's $400, but it's out there. So versus, if you want a terabyte and a disk drive, you're looking at $450. But that's still a lot cheaper than normally is, and I think that shows here. I think that the problem that video games are going to encounter because of this, and I actually don't just mean consoles, I mean like PCs as well.
Yeah.
Is the games themselves there are more of them. They go on sale more often. You can, there are deals constantly on all platforms, and there are so many games on all platforms that if you're willing to even just play older video games, like you can find deals, especially, and if you're on console, the used market is alive and well. The problem is the buy-in. It's getting new people into the hobby.
Right.
It's like, and console prices are not that bad adjusted for inflation, right?
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people don't think that way, right? Like that's a lot of people think, oh, a console should be $300, $400, not 500, 600. Even though if you adjust for inflation, most consoles historically have been $500 to $600 in today's money.
Right.
Minus Nintendo, we're oddball. Like the 360 in today's money is $500.
Yeah.
The PS2 in today's money, $550. The PS1 in today's money, $622 at launch. I think the other factor is this hardware has never got a price cut. It's in fact they've only gotten price increases.
Yeah.
The Xbox went up in price twice, the PlayStation went up in price once. And I think there's just this bottom segment of the market that usually would normally get in later that hasn't gotten in yet either. So yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. This is not shocking, honestly. We're shifting to more and more digital, and then hardware. PlayStation 5, the only one that had any sort of discount. It just, I don't know. This is not shocking in any way.
Yeah. I think that it, and I also think that like it has less to do with this than the world around it. I think that everything else, video games in general have not gone up that much in price relative to other things. In fact, adjusting for inflation, they're pretty flat. In some cases, they're down, but everything else got more expensive. Right. Everything else got way more expensive, and then if you're just looking to have a good time, like the next playground is $200, right? Or
Yeah.
$250. So if you're just looking to have a fun time, a family with something that's a video game like, yeah, it's an easier sell. Um, if you have like a kid who's like, I really want to play God of War Ragnarok. I'm like, first off, monitor your kids because that's an M-rated game. But second off is like, yeah, then you're looking at a minimum spend of, $400. And in a world where your fucking groceries, went up, at least in my case, over the past 3 years by like $75 every 2 weeks, that can be a hard sell, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I remember when I was in college and shortly after college, and I was super broke, spending an extra $100 for a system would fuck my budget for like the month. So, and like, yeah, now I'm a working adult and like well into working, so it's like that's not as much of an issue. But if you're a kid, you're a teen, you're in a low income family, yeah, the buy-in is just harder than ever.
Yep. It's only gonna
And
get
then
worse.
like, yeah, and then I think there's also been a shift to PC as well. That's part of it. A lot of people are going to PC because of one, they're just games that you can only get on PC. Like you're not going to play. We were talking about Fellowship before the show. That's not going to come to console.
Right.
League of Legends, that ain't coming to console. And depending on what you're playing, you can make a PC last longer than a console. And most people are not sickos like us.
Right.
And they'll play the same game forever. So that, when they go buy a gaming laptop is $1,000, like for a decent starting point.
Yep.
But your $1,000 gaming laptop is going to play most games fine for the length of a console. So it's like, and that can be used for school and whatnot. Like, and it's just like, well, I can spend $500 more and get my kids set up with something they can use for school and possibly for college or work. And, it will play games pretty well depending on what they're playing. Like, yeah, you're not going to be playing, Indiana Jones maxed out ray tracing at 4K on your $1,000 laptop.
No.
But can you play Indiana Jones at like medium to low and still have it look good on your $1,000 laptop? Yeah, probably.
Probably.
And I think that's another thing. And then I think that just, optimization will, because of the shortages in computer parts as well, and the fact that I think it'd be really stupid to launch a console generation in 2 years, which is, like, I think that I think that's what everyone's going to try and do. I think Xbox especially is going to try and do that in 2027. They're planning to have November of 2027. They're going to try and have a new box. I think that would be so supremely stupid if the economy is what it is right now. I think it would be the dumbest thing you could imagine.
We didn't include the story, I don't think, but did I correctly see a news article saying Nvidia's not going to be not making gaming GPUs soon?
So they're going to be making gaming GPUs, but they're halving their yields.
Okay.
So they're cutting the amount of gaming GPUs they're making in half to go focus on AI GPUs.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's going to be a factor as well. I think.
Yeah.
This is just going to be. It's going to be tough. It's only going to get more tough, and I think pursuing new hardware, and trying to like continue on as if things are normal is going to be a problem.
I think it would be one of the dumbest things they could do. I know that the PS3 360 generation got extended by about 2-3 years because of the recession that happened back then. They need to do it again. This needs to be a true 10-11 year life cycle. I think 2030. I think you just need to hang it out till 2030.
It's funny because I feel like the amount of gains have been less and less since, in the last few console generations. It's like some people up to this point have had the money to purchase a brand new console despite, so little progress in the hardware department. But literally, it's because people have had the money. And I just think going into this, between hardware issues and money issues outside of games, like this is going to be a hard sell for a lot of people.
Yeah, I think that, like, and I have a PS5 Pro in the office, dude, and like, does it look better than a regular PS5? Yeah, like it's one of those things where I do, and it does, but is it like better enough to justify $700? Really, only in Sony first party games, which so far there's been 3 since the release of the thing.
Yep.
And next year they're planning, there's like at least 2 set up for it, and it's like, yeah, that's nice, that's nice, but if they're already charging $700 for this, I can't imagine the jump you could get for even that price in 2 years.
Right.
So I'm not seeing where this is going to go, and then God knows what the fuck it would have to be priced at, and it's like, oh, guys, let's just hang here for a while. It's okay.
It is okay.
Like, games look great. Okay, like, legitimately, like, regular PS5 games look great and run fine.
Yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Same thing with like the Switch 2. Like, the Switch 2, graphics powerhouse is gonna run your Unreal 5 games perfectly. No. But can it make games look good? Yeah, I was playing that Final Fantasy VII Remake demo. It looks amazing.
Right.
Looks great on Switch.
Yeah.
Looks fantastic. Donkey Kong looks and plays great. So, so does Metroid Prime. Like, let's stop.
Like, if you were like had an opportunistic mind looking at this, like, extending this is a good time to figure out a better development cycle so that you're not having to spend 8 years and getting hundreds of people together to make a gigantic game. Let's figure something out. Let's figure something more sustainable and easy to do.
Yeah, like, I beat Ghost of Tsushima recently, and that's a game that's about 40 hours long if you do a lot of the side content and enjoy the main line like I did. And I like felt that, I feel games, if you want to talk about making games themselves better for most people, it's like, all right, dude, just make them a little shorter, make them a little cheaper. Like that's another option. This new James Bond game is $70 goddamn dollars, and am I gonna buy it because it's IO Interactive making a James Bond game? There couldn't be a better combination of things in this world. Yes,
right.
But if this game is 30 hours long, I'm gonna go mental. There's no reason there needs to be a fucking 30-hour James Bond game. Stop it, please. And like, you have games like Expedition 33, Game of the Year winner, one of the best games you could be playing, and it's it's 40, it's $50, $40 on sale. Like, do we need a game to look better than Expedition 33?
Right.
Is that what you're telling me? We need a game to be bigger and look better than that? Is that the conversation? Like, Ghost of Yote, I took hundreds of screenshots through my playthrough. It's an amazing looking game. Are you telling me we need something that looks better than that? No, shut up. Stop.
And like, I understand that there are some franchises that are just big enough that, like, yeah, you do want to push it all the way, but that, like, there are a lot of people who are trying to punch at that level that don't need to be at that level and can make just as much profit.
Yes, like, look, if you're Rockstar, great, do that. Yeah. Great, push it all the way, dog. Go all the way, because your game is going to sell 40 million copies.
Yeah.
If you're CD Projekt Red, same thing. Your game is going to sell 40 million copies. Go nuts. If you're fucking who's the other one I was on? If you're Final Fantasy, Square Enix, yes, because you trapped yourself. That's kind of what you're known for. You're stuck. Right. Just enjoy your suicide pact. Have fun. But for most people, no, not really. Like, you don't need to. Like, I've been playing Digimon Story Time Change, and I'm really enjoying that game. It's a fantastic game. It's a solid JRPG. It's a lot of fun to mess around with all these great Digimon. I got my Metal Greymon last night. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And that like that game, it looks good. It's a good looking video game, but it's not like pushing technical boundaries, and they'd have to enslave an army of artists to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like some of the higher end games.
Yeah.
And I think that's like guys, Battlefield 6, probably one of the biggest dev teams ever. The game is not, it looks great, but it's not like a cutting edge game graphically, and that's fine.
Yeah.
200,000 people a month on Steam are playing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's all right. It's okay. We did it. Games look great.
Yeah. There's some conversation. We'll be probably getting into it later today with these news stories, but just like, yeah, we don't need to keep pushing hard. It is clearly causing problems, not just for costs for consoles and like larger buy-in, but like development issues. We've been running into development issues for years now, and we're reaching a breaking point in terms of time and money being put into these things.
Well, like, you want to know a studio that has not had problems doing any of this shit? The Yakuza studio. They put out a game almost every year. I think the only year they skipped is 2022.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because, like, dude, they figured out their engine, and they figured out how to use assets in a smart way, and they're just making the games in a smart fashion. They're doing a good job with it. Like, that's all. They figured it out. They're like, it needs to look good. It doesn't need to look like the most amazing thing my eyes have ever beheld and bring me to tears when I look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So, or like the Persona team. Like, how many goddamn games does Atlas put out, right?
Sure.
Like, they put out a game almost every year. Like all the games look great. They're anime styled, makes it a little easier.
But that's fine. People like that.
They do. Like that's fine. It's okay.
One of the most profitable games in the world right now is Fortnite. Look at that.
Yes, exactly. Like Helldivers. Helldivers is not like this amazing technical showpiece. It will run on a Steam Deck.
Mm-hmm.
Run 2060. You do not need this shit. Stop it.
It's about making a good game.
And I know that people are gonna say, "Oh, but it's easy." I'm like, you want to know what's a really good marketing tool for a video game? Word of mouth that it's a fun video game.
Yep.
It's an effective tool. That's why Expedition 33 blew up. It was an excellent video game, and everyone talked about it. Yes. All right. Well, what's the next news story?
All right, let's go ahead and let's move on from that story. We got a little more to talk about in terms of the health of the games industry at this moment, which we're going to talk about 2025 gaming revenue. Global games revenue in 2025 expected to grow 7.5% compared to last year. So, and it's a strong year for PC gaming in particular, which, what we've been talking about.
Yeah, well, checks out. Like, PC gaming, it makes sense because if you built a PC in 2018, basically any time period where a ray tracing enabled graphics card existed, you can play most games on it still now. Doing other stuff at the same time is not an option in a lot of cases for a computer that old. But like, if you're sitting here and you're like, I really want to play, what's a game that came out this year? Well, Expedition 33. Yeah. What does that game require? A 3060. So a 5-year-old graphic card.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it recommends. The minimum you can buy with a 1060.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, okay, well, great. That game will run.
Yeah.
Let's see. But yeah, so a lot of this is driven by PC and phones. No surprise there. And then, yeah, a lot of it is live service, Monster Hunter Wilds, Battlefield 6, stuff like that. And then, looking ahead to next year, it's like, how much of that growth is going to be Grand Theft Auto, right?
Exactly right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's the I'm sure that Sony and Xbox were both real bummed that game got delayed,
Mm-hmm.
because that game, once again, it's a very good test market for, like, okay, is a game so big it can just carry everything,
Yeah.
right? Like that is a very excellent test. Is like, is this game so goddamn huge it can carry, high console prices, people being broke? Like, is it, are people gonna be like, no, I don't care, Grand Theft Auto?
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we'll see what that does. And what is November, right? They moved it to November.
I believe so. They pushed it to fall.
November 19th.
Okay.
November 19th. So, all right, like, I'm not surprised about the revenue growth. It's just not going to be in console hardware, and it's not going to be in physical games.
Right.
So it's
exactly.
it's going to be in games themselves, and it's going to be once you have microtransactions, right? Like, Marvel Rivals, Savage Storm, not Savage Storm, Savage Rogue. You want your rogue in a loincloth, brother. The game has it for you.
Yeah. I think for people who are sick in the head about video games more than the average person, which, as we saw in our Steam 2025 Wrapped, that number is low.
Yeah, the average person on Steam played 4 games this year.
And
Well, the
that's
median
Steam.
person.
Like, people who already are downloading Steam to play video games are still on, like, that, well, let's explore beyond consoles kind of level.
Yeah, and like, and to be fair, like, it could be also, though, that they just own a computer for another reason, and this is how they play Counter-Strike.
Right.
Yeah, like that. I would love to see the data broken down further of, like, what 4 games are they playing? Is this person just playing Counter-Strike and Dota all the time? Is this person just playing Friend Slop? What is the what is the question here?
Yeah. I don't know.
So
Yeah, that would be interesting. But yeah, games are, again, games are doing fantastic. It's but things are changing.
yeah, it's just the market's changing. I think consoles will end up being fine. I think Nintendo consoles will probably end up being fine.
Oh, yeah.
I have bigger questions about well, especially Xbox, but I even have questions about PlayStation, just because of the nature of where the PS5 has been this year. I recently saw a video that titled "The System's Life So Far an Excellent Identity Crisis," which, yeah, I think that there's a lot of great games on the PS5, exclusive and otherwise, but it's one of those things where it very much you can feel that they made a pivot. They tried to go into live service, failed, and then had to rush back.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's been less stuff that has traditionally been on PlayStation.
Yeah, and Mark Cerny came out saying, like, we found something really cool we can do with a new console. Will it sell the console? I don't know.
I mean, well, I think that what Mark Cerny finds cool is probably what I would find cool, but I don't think the general consumer will give a shit.
It's gonna be, I remember when we were looking at the new Xbox, and I thought the quick start video game feature was like, oh man, that's a great console feature. And then I don't know that no one talks about it.
Oh, well, it's because, like, one, I think people got used to it and also know who the fuck owns an Xbox.
Right.
But like, even Sony has their equivalent to that, and, like, the only games that make the most of it are games made by PlayStation, because first party. Like,
Well,
Ghost of
exactly.
Yotei does a great job with it.
Yeah.
Like, Ghost of Yotei, like, does not, once you load up the game for the first time and hit start and get your settings set up, like, it loads you straight into the game in like 2 seconds.
Okay, so they do have it.
Yeah, like it's crazy. It's just that it's a matter of,
You have to be about those first party games that are single player.
And it's just like, all right, how many of those did we get this year? 2. We got Death Stranding and we got Ghost of Yotei. Both great games. I loved them both. Ghost of Yotei especially.
And there are other first
But
player or single player games that are not directly from Sony that benefit on the
but
PlayStation.
yes, but they don't make the most of the hardware in the same way. Is what I'm
Sure. Yes.
You're not getting that insane SSD tech where like the game loads in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like what did we get last year from PlayStation? We got Astrobot, the only first party. The year before that, we got Spider-Man. Like first party for them this generation has been not great.
Didn't they have a thing going where they were going like once a quarter with something?
Yeah, for a while. Like it's this year and last year they really petered out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's because they made a lot of those live service bets and they just did not turn out the way they, like you think about all those live service games that they had to cancel that never saw the light of day. Like Blue Point was working on a live service game after Demon Souls. That got canceled. The Days Gone people were working on a live service game. That got canceled. Last of Us multiplayer got canceled. So, Insomniac was working on a multiplayer Spider-Man game that got canceled.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about pretty much every studio they had except like Gran Turismo was working on a multiplayer game, and the only ones that made it out the door were Destruction All Stars, which still exists. I don't know if people play it,
Right.
but you can still play it. Concord, which got shut down in 14 days.
Yep.
And then Helldivers 2.
Right.
Which Helldivers 2 is a great game.
Yep.
So but it's like, all right, so you've had one big win, and then they immediately, they've obviously pivoted back to single player games, but because games take so long to make,
Mm-hmm.
You can't just make that pivot and everything's okay now.
Especially if your strategy is to continue to try and make the latest and greatest in hardware and specs and all that.
Yeah, and they've paid to get some timed third-party exclusives. Stellar Blade was a timed exclusive for a year. That was a great game. Long Haul Aside is an exclusive. It's not very good, but it's, they made a bet. Rise of the Ronin was a timed exclusive for like a year. So they've tried to pad it out, but just they're trying to recover from that. And it's like, if you own a PlayStation, you're probably happy with it because it's not like there aren't games to play on the PS5.
Yeah.
There are plenty of games to play on the PS5. It's just that if you come to PlayStation for your marquee big exclusives, yeah, you're getting like 1 or 2 a year nowadays.
Right.
And that's kind of rough considering where it's been in the past.
Yep.
So
yeah, I don't know. There's a big question mark on the way we have certainly we have been playing video games in years and decades past, as things get more expensive in that regard and take longer and require more work. People are just going to be spending a lot of their time playing other stuff.
Yeah, like this, and this year I made a real big effort to play less live service games.
Mm-hmm.
Which led to me only playing 2 live service games, putting a lot of time into them. But like, I still played plenty of great single player games this year. Luminous Arise, Expedition 33, Donkey Kong Bonanza, Dispatch, Battlefield. But like the only one of those games that had like a crazy long development cycle was like Donkey Kong and Expedition 33. Like it's just not. You don't need to make the giant thing, guys.
You don't.
I promise.
Nope.
Nope. Astrobot probably not a giant thing.
You would think not,
like
but
it took. But who knows? Anyway, speaking of giant things.
Oh Lord, yeah. We're dipping into this topic well before this news story came up. So all right, let's continue onward. Naughty
It was
Dog.
intentional. Don't listen to him.
Yeah. Naughty Dog is doing some crunch for Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet.
Yeah, so Naughty Dog is a studio that's kind of known for insane crunch culture.
Mm.
It shows in the games, to be fair, but they're known for it. Like Naughty Dog is known for like, yo, if you're gonna come work on Uncharted, Last of Us, Jack and Daxter, all those games had reported long as shit hard crunch.
Yeah.
This game is apparently the case. They are looking to get this game out in 2027. It looks like mid 2027. But starting in late October, the developers. This is reported by Bloomberg, which means Jason Schreier, which means it's legit.
Yeah.
So Jason Schreier has to say that late October required to work at least 8 hours a week. We're required to work at least 8 hours a week, though not more than 60 hours total per week. So the 8 hours of additional overtime, not 8 hours total.
Okay.
So they're requiring 8 hours of overtime, so 48-hour weeks, but no more than 60 per week to log into their internal timesheet. These developers have been asked to work from office 5 days a week, where it was only 3 previously. This has caused to have a scramble to find childcare and pet arrangements. The mandatory overtime is servicing and finishing an internal demo in time for review by Sony after said demo missed multiple deadlines. Intergalactic the Heretic Prophet does not currently have a public release date or window, but says they're targeting 2027. The report concluded that mandated overtime ended this week, and Naughty Dog will return to just 3 days a week mandated in office through the end of January, with a more detailed schedule to come. Most people are expecting it to continue well into next year up to the release of the game. In 2021, the studio, of course, addressed crunch. Evan Wells and Neil Druckmann talked to Game Informer about the issue, saying they wanted to prevent burnout. They didn't want to impose a one-size-fits-all restriction on employee passion and creativity. The same studio hired a number of producers really tasked with alleviating workload. However, many of those producers have left the company since. Some employees apparently already worked long hours to even just finish Intergalactic's first trailer for the Game Awards last year. Druckmann referred to Intergalactic as the most ambitious, expansive, and expensive Naughty Dog game ever made. What can I say? I can tell you we're in the thick of it. We're making it. We're playing it. We're firing on all cylinders.
I guess. What even is this game? We saw a trailer.
Yeah, so they did one trailer. It looked kind of like a Guardians of the Galaxy vibe space action adventure game. Like, it shows this chick chilling in a spaceship listening to like 80s music, and then she gets a report on a mission, and she flies to the mission and pulls out a beam katana type thing and starts fighting a robot.
Okay.
I don't know. I just have I think that like I don't know enough about what this game is to say if this even looks like it could be worth it.
Right, yeah, exactly. They haven't released enough.
I do know that the last game that I put out, Last of Us 2, I was disappointed with the story. I thought the game played great. It was a technical marvel, how good it looked. That game still looks great today.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a cutting-edge game today. Its story was kind of a disappointment. It kind of gave... It felt like Neil Druckmann, similar to Kojima, does not have an editor anymore. Similar to how I always criticize post Metal Gear 3 Kojima for obviously not having an editor, it feels like post Last of Us Neil Druckmann has not had an editor, and that shows in Uncharted 4, though not as much in Uncharted 4, and Last of Us 2.
Right.
So, I'm curious to see how this is going to play out. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's shitty, but this goes into Sony's bigger problems of, not getting games out in time. spending a shit ton of time and resources on making multiplayer games that didn't turn out, to have to rapidly pivot to single player games. Also, I mean, Naughty Dog, what, in the last year you like did Last of Us 2 for PC, and I'm like, why? What was the point of this, to spend resources on this? I guess they made some money off of it. They put it out in time for the TV show. They put out the PS5 remaster in time for the TV show, which, sure. I don't know, man.
I think if you're looking at 18 months of crunch work, like as a developer, I'm like, dude, this is worth it.
Unless you really care about the project, I guess.
You're right. If you see something in this video game, it's like, this is going to do something for just video games as a whole to have this game come out. Like, great.
Yeah, like if you think this is going to be the next Uncharted 2, where you're like, God, this is going to be a fucking benchmark for video games.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, dude. It's either that or, and there's probably a lot of people in the industry like this. I need this game on my resume so I can keep working and get better jobs.
Yeah.
Like that's a possibility too.
The games industry hasn't been great, so for developers.
So if you're getting a game, Naughty Dog's a big studio, it's proof that you shipped something. Like if those are the two cases where I would be like, yeah, okay, I understand.
Right.
Like you either A, think this project is special and amazing, or B, you just really need it for your resume.
And like, yeah, I mean, I can only wish the best of luck to what sounds like it's going to be hell for a good long while here for Naughty Dog. But the only thing I can think of looking at this is, we shouldn't be doing this anymore. You don't have to do this.
So it hasn't been in games, but I've managed projects at a software company now, like minor ones.
Mm-hmm.
And there are cases where it is, I don't want to say necessary, but like it happens. Like you need this thing done by this time for this reason.
Of course.
We just have, sorry guys, we gotta slam some OT. I have never been in a situation where it's 18 months straight of OT. Or I guess you get a small break there for the holidays in January, and then it ramps back up in February.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, dude, and once again, some studios have built some amazing stuff off of this, and I think that no matter what the job is, there's going to be OT or crunch in a project-based industry. That's just the nature of the beast. If you have a project manager who gets it done perfectly every time, I want to meet them and find out what the fuck their secret is.
Well, and there are people who push it out.
Yeah. And there are delays, but then that's on your corporate structure, of course, as well, where it's just like, is Sony being like, hey, motherfuckers, we need this needs to be out by the middle of 2027. I don't give a shit.
Which
straight up
just points to kind of what we've been talking about, where like Xbox is collapsing, but PlayStation has put themselves into a position that I think they're gonna be struggling with.
I think that game development is like this very fine line between getting something, at least at this level. Indie games are a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like in AAA and even AA, it's this like fine line of it's a video game. We don't want to kill our staff, and but we also want to get this out in a reasonable amount of time and make money. And it's this like very fucked up balancing act that up until recently PlayStation has been very good at.
Mm-hmm.
Like exceptionally good at it, in fact. And that's and maybe they're finally having trouble with that just because games have gotten so big.
Right.
Like that is a real possibility. That is part of it. Yeah, I think that Xbox, like like you said, the PlayStation has had their own issues. It's just their next door neighbor, their house is on fire, so nobody cares that Sony had some plumbing problems.
Right.
Yeah, that's the thing I would say. I also think that Xbox, I think Sony's management team is a lot more realistic when it comes to deadlines as a whole, is what it sounds like, because the story that always stands out to me is Halo 2 was originally supposed to come out when it was entirely unready a year sooner than it should have been. Like, they wanted that out in November of 2023. The only reason that did not come out completely unfinished in November of 2023, or not 2020, 2003, sorry.
Yeah.
2003 is because Ed Freeze, the head of Microsoft Game Studios at the time, threatened to quit. He's like, this game needs another year. I will quit if you put this out.
Right.
And thankfully, his management team listened to him. So yeah. It's one of those things where it's a fine line of project management, man, and they fucking Naughty Dog seems to be having some issues with it. But also, maybe they're doing something crazy over there that might require it, I guess.
It's something that we don't know for sure at this point. But what we have seen is not as great returns, especially for Sony's first party, for all of this effort, like we saw with Ratchet and Clank's newest edition in Spider-Man. So
yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes. And then you have the case of Nintendo, who's like, they don't crunch, but they also delay games for like long periods of time.
And they know they got their first party titles that people love, and they're willing to wait for them.
Yeah, like it's. I know the industry really loves reoccurring revenue, as any business does. And Anthony and I have had a saying where it's like, what the best reoccurring revenue is? Loyal customers. Like, that's really good reoccurring revenue. Yeah, it's a big fucking bunch of it all at once every 3 to 6 years, but boy howdy, they come out, boy.
Yeah,
let me tell you. So
yep.
Anyway,
all right.
The Sony troubles continue, though.
Yes, and this is something this larger story, something we're gonna have to keep an eye on as time goes on. Xbox is continuing to do its crash/transition to just being a publisher, but PlayStation. But before Xbox has already made the full transition, Sony is already showing many cracks. We'll see how they handle it.
Including, and this, to be fair, this is a developer at Sony that publishes on everything anyway. Marathon's senior art director has left Bungie ahead of the game's release. Originally, the game's post originally spotted the LinkedIn page of Joseph Cross, listed his role as senior art director in Experiences section of the page. But rather than saying March 2018 to present, it said March 2018 to 2025. He noted that his X profile used to read franchise art director Marathon at Bungie, now reads art director and artist Marathon Dune Destiny. This leads me to believe that Cross left Bungie sometime this year. Cross told the publication that it had been his decision to leave, adding, "I'm super proud of the project and what the team accomplished over the last 6 years." Marathon was originally supposed to be out in September this year. Bungie delayed the game, citing needs for more refining and test, and that also during the alpha, someone found stolen artwork during those test builds. Earlier this month, the artist, who noted back in May that some of her previous art was used in assets without her mission, stated the issue has been resolved with Bungie and Sony Interactive Entertainment to my satisfaction. Which, that statement reads either like girlfriend got paid, is what that sounds like.
Maybe. Maybe.
So
yeah, here's another thing where it's like, all right, we're trying to get a big live service game going, and that last alpha or whatever was mixed reactions.
Uh, so apparently they've had a closed alpha since that's had very positive
Okay.
impressions from the community that plays these kind of games.
Mm-hmm.
So they might have made some changes and refinements since then. But yes, its last public outing was very mixed.
Right.
It was very divisive, to say the least. And then they had this art controversy that they've since resolved. Yeah.
Yep. It's you know, I wish the best for this team. I imagine that, yeah, Marathon Senior Art Director has probably gotten a lot of his work done in this time.
I think that homie also totally part of the reason he left is because of the stolen assets.
That doesn't help. That certainly doesn't help.
Um,
Yeah. Here's another game.
I do think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Here's just another game that just like I'm curious about all the years and all the effort put into this. The last real big bet by Sony from the live service era.
I think that they are like super stoked that Arc Raiders did well. I think that they are super stoked about it because it like kind of proves like, okay, no, this can work. Combined with, okay, people are willing to pay $40 if it's good.
Yes.
You know, I think that this game in particular, or Arc Raiders coming out and kind of setting up, you know, for them to not be the first big one of these that hit mainstream success, and kind of set a bar and knowing kind of what's going on, it helps them a lot.
Yeah.
It helps them a lot, and I do like the style of this game. I think it's very stylish. It looks good. I am just curious to see how it's changed since that public alpha and how players, you know, receive it. I would love to be enthusiastic about a Bungie game again.
Right. Yes. Yeah.
I would love not to hear the word Bungie and think, they used to be good.
Right.
No, you know, and supposedly they're also working on Destiny 3. There were some stories recently like that's apparently in the works.
Okay.
You know, cool. That their Star Wars expansion for Destiny, like, you know, got some people to come back and they fixed some things, but I'm just like, dude, I don't know who in their right mind is still gonna play Destiny 2 right now. So yeah.
I think Bungie is good at gathering a base, you know, group of fans to support their game. I think I'm mixed on the art style, but it's certainly its own thing. And
Yeah.
so there's that, and we know that they can make shooting feel good. That is not the problem. It's I'm curious how this goes down, and I do think by the time this game comes out, I think there'll be a certain amount of people who will stick with Arc Raiders forever, but there will be a large portion that are looking for the next big thing, and we'll check that out.
I kind of stand with the fact that Destiny is a game that I find incredibly frustrating, and we kind of talked about this last week of just like, if Destiny could get its grind levels down to where World of Warcraft is currently, where it's like about 8 hours of grinding a season, and then you get to play the part of the game that's good, then I would be like fucking losing my mind in that game. It's because like, dude, those raids are super fun.
Sure.
Those dungeons, the dungeons, which are basically just 3-player versions of the raids, are super fun. Like when we were doing Vault of Glass, and then God, I forget the name of the other raid we did. But like when we were doing those, like on stream, I was having a blast.
Sure.
I was having a fucking blast. Like it was the way you have to work together as a squad and perfectly synchronize and announce yourselves is the best raiding in any game I've played. I've raided in 14, WoW, Lost Ark, you know, like all these different MMOs, and dude, Destiny's is the best by far. It's not even close.
Sure.
But it's to get to the point of being able to do that, you have to put up with just so much bullshit.
Yeah.
Just a mountain of pig shit you have to wade through. It's just like, oh, this one gun is really meta for the event. All right, well, time to go. Where is that? Oh, it's this side event from 2 expansions ago. I have to go farm. Okay, I'll go farm that thing. That's going to take me 20 hours of grinding this event that I hate.
Yep.
Yeah, it's bad. That's a bad, which is a shame because if they could just get the game down to the parts where it's like, hey, I can get everything I need in the current content and I can just enjoy the story campaigns, which have gotten pretty good. I really enjoyed their most recent, or not the most recent campaign, but the Final Shape campaign. That campaign was really fucking cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's yeah.
I don't know.
It's
we'll see. I think Destiny as an aesthetic, as a world, I think is neat. I enjoy being in it when I'm not having to spend my time just grinding. I enjoy the shooting and the movement and all that, but I feel like I don't know, there needs to be more in it. And I especially don't want to be spending so much time looking at menus and working in the systems to try and get the best gear and all this. It's a little much for me.
And the thing is, I don't mind doing the gear grind per se if that is through the engaging good content.
Sure.
If that grind were all related to dungeons and PvP and raid and whatever and not these shitty seasonal events or daily grind that just I turn into a vegetable while I space out and listen to a podcast and do them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. And by the way, they are obviously desperate because their big seasonal content that just came out 2 weeks ago is Star Wars. It's a Star Wars crossover.
Yep.
Yeah. This Steam review pretty 2 dying franchises collab.
Well,
campaign is boring, story overpriced, dungeon is awesome, you get a lightsaber, an actual lightsaber, it's not remade, and there's a cool exotic mission, endgame activity is fun with friends. The campaign literally put me to sleep. God.
Yeah, it's rough.
Which probably but because of this, because this is terrible, it means the next expansion will probably be good.
Right. How it goes,
That's how they've been on us. They've been on that cycle. Witch Queen was sick. Lightfall sucked. Final Shape was great. Just New One's bad. Prophecy, I think it's called. So we're due next year, right? Next year is the year you go back to Destiny for a little bit, and then they'll make it suck again.
Just how it goes, it seems.
All right. What's the next news story?
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next news story. We'll see how that goes. Next news story. Brian Fleming, who is the co-founder of Sucker Punch. Sucker Punch. Has left the studio.
Sucker Punch. Yeah, he is. Sucker Punch, known for Sly Cooper's Infamous and now the Ghost games. They discussed Sucker Punch's 30th anniversary and the studio's determination to stay relatively small in terms of AAA. The truth is, whatever we do next, whether it's continuing Ghost or going back to Sly, the decision is really more limited by, again, our cherishing our focus and time to iterate, which means we can only really do one thing at a time, he said. If we were good at juggling 4 projects, yeah, we'd have a remaster and let's do one of those and do some fan requests that would be really popular. But we only get to do one thing, so it kind of has to be your best idea, right? And that's really clarifying. It's not like there aren't 15 good ideas, but you only get to do one. And by the way, you only get to do one every 5 years.
Yeah.
So the choice is really important. I mean, that is choosing your college and your major every 5 years. It's a really big decision, so you got to think carefully about it. And yeah, he's starting January 1st. Creative and technical leader Jason Cannell and Adrian Bentley will step into new roles as studio heads as he leaves. He was co-director on the Ghost franchise, and yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Prolific. Great history of video games behind him.
yeah, like all three of those games and studios are fucking bangers, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like Sly Cooper, banger. Infamous, banger. Ghost, banger. Dude got a dude has a hell of a track. Oh, and then their first game was an N64 game called Rocket Robot on Wheels, which I've never played.
Okay, Rocket Robot. I don't know.
Sucker Punch, developed by Sucker Punch, published by Ubisoft.
Interesting.
It has an 82% on Metacritic.
Does it now?
Yep.
I'm looking at a robot on a unicycle on a track.
All right.
82%, huh? Very strange.
Yeah.
Okay.
Video games in the 90s.
Yeah, everyone has a strange start. That's not everyone's going to come out with the next big thing right away.
Yes. And yeah, I think this is going to kind of continue through the game industry. Last week we saw Harada leave.
Yep.
I think these guys are hitting the 30-year mark in their careers in a lot of cases, right? Like if you started in the 90s.
Yep.
And, as such, it's they're gonna go off to go do new things. They're either gonna go new things or they're gonna go retire. And you get cases like the Yakuza guy being like, hey, I'm gonna go make a bunch of money making Yakuza for Tencent,
right,
and call it Gang of Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
In a case like that, if you're an established enough name, well, why wouldn't you just go run your own studio and make way more money and get way more credit?
Or especially for your last leg, let's make a bit of money and retire well.
Yeah, let's make a lot of money, set my family up for life, and call it a day. I'm not surprised by it.
Well, no, but I think that's a good point of just early to mid 90s, the game industry was really starting to blow up more and more and more, which means we're gonna have more people who are either retiring or are thinking about their last big projects, given the timelines of these games these days. Yeah.
Well, what was it? You look at Itsuno, right? He got Dragon's Dogma out. He's like, I have one more game in mind. I can get it by Capcom. Gonna have to, going to make my own thing. And you look at Harada. He's DJ Harada, and then on his way out, but then he's probably gonna go work somewhere else for a while.
Yeah.
I think that. And I've said it before with the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is probably going to be the last generation of, Aonuma and Miyamoto and those guys, right?
Yep.
Those dudes are in their 60s and, soon to be 70s in some cases.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kojima's in his early 60s, I believe. He's 62.
Yeah.
So, you realistically got one, maybe two games out of these guys left.
Right. If they keep working on these larger projects, absolutely.
This is the unfortunate thing that our parents went through when they got into their 40s, where it's like, oh, yeah, these rock stars, they're dying.
Yeah, no, we're it's something that everyone goes through. Is your generation's big, pillars? They age out. It's what it is,
Yeah, how old is Miyamoto? He's in his 70s now, right? Or close.
Gotta be up there. This is definitely happening. If you're a rock fan.
Yeah, he's 73.
Yeah.
Which, to be fair, that man looked great for his age.
Well, of course, yeah.
He looks great for his age. Holy shit. Yeah.
Yeah. I could see Miyamoto going out on one last big Mario project.
If you're him, that's what you gotta go out on, right?
I would think, you know?
Like, you gotta be like Mario 64 2, best 3D platform ever made. I'm out.
That'd be fun.
Uh, apparently he's been really smart about just kind of like so apparently he's like too busy to touch everything in relation to the Mario franchise and games now.
Of course.
Like he's doing the movie, he's working on almost every project at Nintendo and whatnot. But he basically says, I play the first level of every Mario game to say they're doing it right.
That's good. I like that.
And he gives his take and opinion on every single Mario game, even if he's not involved with it. Like, he wasn't involved in Mario Wonder at all.
Wow.
He wasn't a producer. He wasn't anything. In fact, the last two games, he was not involved in Donkey Kong Bonanza at all.
Oh,
Fun
wow.
fact.
Okay.
The last game that he is credited on are Tears of the Kingdom and Pikmin 4 as a general producer.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. At this point, you need to start making that. They've been needing to make that transition, and they've been making it very slowly, and I think they've done it smartly.
They have. You see it in the Mario Odyssey to Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's like, this has the same feel and the same quality and the same vibe, but instead of Miyamoto, it's Koizumi.
Right.
And Koizumi, and then you're gonna see the same thing with Mario Wonder, with those guys are doing their own take on Mario, but it still feels like Mario. And I don't know what they do to train their staff, right? Like to understand, like, this is what Mario is. This is how Mario has to feel and look to feel like fucking Mario.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's
we'll see. Some transitions will go better than others for sure. Best wishes to Brian Fleming and the rest of his career, and best wishes to Sucker Punch, who have been doing good work.
Ghost of Yote was great. I think that Anthony and I have been talking a lot about that game, and our general. He thinks it's a 3 out of 5. I think it's a 4 out of 5. I think that in his case, he wanted something more fresh and novel. And I'm just like, they made Ghost of Tsushima, but improved some things and made it prettier.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right.
All right. What's next?
Well, let's go to the next news story here. This was a big one that happened over the week, like the day after our podcast.
Of course, always happens that way.
No, it's how it goes, right? The CEO of Larian, what was it? He gave an interview and was talking about using AI, and the whole internet blew up.
Yeah, so he said Divinity is using AIs to explore ideas, flesh out PowerPoint presentations, develop concept art, and write placeholder text, but insisted no AI generated content will make it into the filed game, and that, quote, everyone at the company is more or less okay with the way we're using it.
More or less.
The comments drew criticisms from players and former developers on social media, prompting him to do a follow-up post. The social media was from former artists saying, consider my feedback. I loved working at Larian Studios until AI reconsider and change your direction. Like yesterday, show your employees some respect. They're world-class, do not need AI assistants to come up with amazing ideas. Here's my comments on the matter. No, I will not comment on my experiences. Sorry, I left 2 years ago and know nothing about what is going on there now. No, I didn't leave because of AI. I was already leaving. These days, no one has the luxury of leaving a job over this kind of thing anyway, so it's kind of irrelevant. And yeah, so yes. Oh, and then hold on, there was another follow-up post. Excuse me.
Okay.
Oh, that was from the CEO himself. His comment was, quote, holy fuck, guys, we're not pushing hard for or replacing concept artists with AI. We have a team of 72 artists and 23 are concept artists, and we are hiring more. The art they create is original, and I'm very proud of what they do. Asked explicitly about concept art, and I used generative AI. I answered that we use it to explore things. I didn't say we used it to develop concept art, and the artists do that, and they are indeed world-class artists. We use AI tools to explore references, just like we use Google and art books. At the very early ideation stages, we use a rough outline for composition, which we replace with original art. There is no comparison. We hired creatives for their talent, not for their ability to do what a machine suggests, but they can experiment with those tools to make their lives easier. In a separate statement to IGN, he said, neither releasing a game with any AI components, nor are we looking at trimming down teams to replace them with AI. He said, I understand it's a subject that invokes a lot of emotion. It's something we're constantly discussing internally through the lens of making everyone's working day better, not worse. I'm fine with this. Like, I don't, guys.
No, I think that there are AI tools that can be helpful, but I think this response is warranted and it should always be pushed back on. You know, I think that's warranted. You know, it's tough. I think there are uses for AI that are not replacing people. I think it's not great to use AI to generate references, even though at this point with Google, like if you do search Google, like half of them are going to be AI anyway.
Yeah, well,
but still,
that's what I was about to bring up. Is like I had to search an image for the video I'm currently working on, and 90% of what I got was AI art images anyway.
right?
So that well is already poisoned if you're gonna use Google for references.
Yeah, and it sucks. But
you know,
I think
yeah,
artists are probably better than most at finding the places where it's not.
Yes, probably. The thing is like there's a fine line. I actually don't consider this to be that big of a problem with this particular thing, this particular project. Just like there was a whole bunch of people freaking out at Expedition 33 for using AI placeholders during its development. You know, like I just don't fucking.
The thing is, I think this pushback needs to happen because if it's not there, they will go more. They just will.
And that's understandable. I'm very curious to see where the line ends up actually being set at. Is what I'm curious about. Because yeah, if you give an inch, they take a mile, is the old saying, right?
Yep. And I think with AAA, I think that line will get pushed a lot farther.
Oh yes, absolutely. Larry, everyone has to remember, Larry is an independent AA studio.
Mm-hmm.
Like yeah, Baldur's Gate 3, biggest fucking game in the world, but like prior to that game, like they were a AA studio. Right. The Expedition 33 team used it for some placeholder assets. One snuck into the game. They ended up going back and deleting it, apologizing, all that good stuff. Yeah, I don't know. I think that AI is obviously here to stay.
It is. It's about the people who use it and what they use it for.
Right. And I think that you see these very violent reactions to it. And this is obviously a very human reaction. It's you saw this during the industrial era when like jobs were being taken. Right. Granted, back then it was jobs that sucked ass anyway, but it was still jobs being taken.
Yeah.
This versus jobs like this, where these are actually jobs that a lot of people want, a lot of people fight over.
Right.
And I think if this is a case where it's fine, I think a lot of tedious tasks it's fine. But as you said, the concern is it goes further.
Right.
It starts being the concept art thing. It starts being the tool that overtakes everything. And there are some people who have a very hard line on this. Like I know a dude who will not play any game that use AI in any way, shape, or form.
Sure.
And calls even amazing games like Expedition 33 that used it during the ideation process AI slop. So it's and that's like one of those things that yeah.
It's, you know,
You know.
there's certainly a spectrum, and it's not just all good and pure and all bad and awful, but uh we're in the middle of this period
It's a
where
period
AI is
where
coming
AI
while
okay mind
uh people are treating art as entertainment and entertainment as slop at like the same value. It's been a very big
yeah
problem where, you know, every boycott is one trailer away from an instant purchase. Uh,
yeah
we are very much enslaved to franchises with characters we love. We are willing to support really awful things because of the IP that they own. You know, it's
yeah
and so there's this fight happening right now among artists and creatives to try and
I
hold
meant
back because
because
a lot of these people at the top, if they could use the AI to replace as much as possible, they would, and they would
yeah
they would get away with a lot more than I think they would.
uh, well and this is a conversation that you and I have had a million times, which is I think the vast majority of people who play games and consume media, movies, music, TV, video games, do not give a shit about how it's made and the people making it.
Right.
They want a good product. They do not care. I think and I think that if if an AI could make Expedition 33 entirely on its own, by putting in prompts by like two dudes, and it would turn out the exact same product, people would not give a shit.
Right.
Uh, versus like, people like you and I care about the artistry and how it's made and things of that nature. It's very similar to like, clothing, right? Like, most people just buy a t-shirt. They don't give a shit if it's a handmade t-shirt.
Well, right, and this goes
Like,
back
like
to,
the
you know, it's that it's a war. It's the war is not just a battle. It's this long-term fight that we've lost with like clothing. Like we just don't have the purchasing power to, keep, ethically sourcing all of our clothing. Um, and games, Battlefield is an EA game, which is now
yeah,
owned by, Saudis and Jared Kushner and others. And it's like I don't want to give, live service transaction money through skate to them, so I don't. But I understand people wanting to play Battlefield 6 on top of being Battlefield if you're a fan of Battlefield. On top of that, it's also like one of the best ones. It's an interesting game in that genre compared to what Call of Duty's turning out.
yeah, and I think that like you're having that conversation with Evo right now, where like Evo is now partially owned by Saudis, and as such, Say Jam isn't gonna go or commentate.
Right.
Like and I feel like you have to pick and choose your battles, right? Like you can't do everything. It's fucking impossible.
Well, right.
It's
And I agree with that. And the problem becomes like, if you let up, that baseline will go low. The online conversation on the baseline, it will drop way far.
yes. Yes, and I think that the problem is though is like the online communication and sentiment about stuff is not like the reality of it though. Like we saw that with the Switch, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like if you went just like off the online conversation about the Switch 2, you would assume this is going to be the worst selling console of all time.
Sure.
It's currently on pace to be the best selling console of all time for a first year. It's just that like that online sentiment isn't reality. And I think the reality of the situation with most people is they don't give a fuck.
Well, and that's the
They
thing
don't give
is what that is, and that was what was with Switch 2 as well. The whole point of the online discussion is to try and influence public opinion. That's what it is.
Yes.
And the people who are arguing against Switch 2 did not have a strong argument. The people who were arguing for against Dexit, like that was not a strong argument. I think there.
This I do think is, but it's like I also don't think it influences enough because you look at Arc Raiders, right? Like
Sure.
Arc Raiders has some AI generated stuff in the game.
Yes.
It uses AI generated voices. Now they did get actual voice actors to source that, and they gave their approval to have their stuff generated in the future. But
Right, and
you
that's
know,
more
it's
like, okay, what is that contract like, and
and
did those voice actors end up screwing other artists over by setting that precedent of, yeah, use my stuff for whatever? I don't know what the scope of that is or what, but it's
yeah,
not.
but yeah, and that's the third most popular game on Steam right at this
Right.
moment.
Yes.
So it's like I think that unfortunately for us terminally online folks, and some people are just know more about it and are more knowledgeable.
Oh God,
Like
yeah. A lot
I'm
of people
sure
are
that
not engaging in these conversations.
like I'm sure if I go ask the 382,000 people playing, if I were to sit down with every one of them right now, did you know that our creators uses AI generated voice acting and some AI generated NPCs?
Right.
Do you know? Like, if I'd say, oh, I'm going to be optimistic and say maybe a third of them would know.
Yeah, that is optimistic.
Yeah, like that's it's just and no one can know everything, and it's hard, man. Like
It's really hard.
like and we've talked about like like my girlfriend was a huge Harry Potter fan,
Hmm.
like huge Harry Potter fan.
Yeah.
Loved it growing up. She has actual Hufflepuff robes
Right.
from like Universal, or from not from Universal, from like the store in London,
Hmm.
and shit. Like like they're like big fan, but like she refused to buy Hogwarts Legacy
Right.
because of J.K. Rowling.
Yeah.
And it's you just kind of have to pick and choose. Like it's
You do have to pick and choose.
and
It's
it,
just, but yeah, there is this ongoing discussion online about it, and we can see the line is still being formed, and so
so
yeah.
I'm curious, in your opinion, where is the line for you
Where is the line for me on AI?
on AI usage in like games and whatnot?
Um,
Um,
let's see. I don't like the idea of using it for references for concept art. Um,
oh, understandable.
I, it's not something I've thought about too much because most of the use cases are like no, because it tends to be something like
Well,
in-app
yeah, it tends
product,
to
like
be.
voice acting and stuff. Like I can see if you made a contract saying I'm going to record these base amount of voice lines and then use my voice to AI generate lines for all the different scenarios in this game, and that contract is limited to just this game, I could be into that. Um, I think that it's tough because some of these things are like isolated things in the hands of people who understand the value of the creator, the creatives, would be fine. But it's about that long-term
Yeah,
fight against people who need to earn more money for next quarter.
yeah, and I think for me, I'm actually a little more okay with it than you in the ideation phase. Like I'm actually like if a concept artist wants to like have AI floated ideas, I'm actually completely okay with that. Like go nuts. Um, I think where I draw the line is when it comes to doing the actual work. Like I do not want an AI voice acting. I do not want the actual AI concept art to make it into the game. I'm completely fine for automating tasks. Like shit, dude. If you want to talk about automating tasks, like I fucking have been the ultimate AI supporter in workplaces I've been at.
Sure.
Like do you know how many bullshit tasks I fed off to a robot?
All right. And yeah,
um,
I think there is a place where, again, if it's about, it needs to do two things. It's not replacing human beings doing work,
mhm.
and it's not encouraging people to push away their creativity, push away their desire to express themselves or express artistic ideas, and are just churning something out to get the game out.
Right, and I think that once again, I don't have a problem with the ideation phase because I don't see it being that much of a difference than looking at an art book or looking at a Google or just even shooting the shit with someone and being like, oh wait, I got an idea.
It's something
And I think
that
it could.
it's difficult because I remember messing around with what was it, Mid Journey, like in the early AI image generation phase. And I remember one of my ideas was give me Chun-Li but in Bloodborne. And
Hmm,
back in that time, they struggled with human beings. They looked like the actual human part like looked absolutely messed up and awful. But it was this Chun-Li outfit mixed with this Bloodborne background, and it was crazy cool looking. Um, but I'm also not someone who is an artist, and something I've seen from a lot of artists is there's a lot of expression, unique expression that comes from that first seed, and
yeah.
you lose a little bit. It's not, you don't lose as much when you just, I don't know, churn something out and see what comes up, and then tweak. But it's something that can be there, that can be valuable in that first little bit. But again, in terms of degrees of AI awfulness, like, yeah, that's a lot less than putting AI in the finished product.
Yeah, and I think that I don't know, man. I and this might just be me as a creator and as a writer. Like I can fucking pull my ideas from pretty much anywhere.
Well, yeah,
So now it just being like, oh, it's a robot that can fucking I can bounce it off of. Yeah, like it doesn't change much for me, but the only difference is now instead of bouncing my idea, instead of if I were to use AI, instead of bouncing off of my girlfriend, I'm now bouncing off of an AI,
right. Yeah.
or fucking off
Well, I
of
mean,
Google. It's
yeah.
you know,
I've used AI for scheduling stuff because mentally I'm just a mess. Like there
yeah,
are
yeah, it's
tools
understandable.
that can be, helpful, but when it just comes to there's people who are creatives for as a career. This can potentially take money from
Take
them, from
money,
thousands of
yeah,
creators, if left to keep growing over time. And then there's the value of the
yes,
human creation and self-expression itself that is already a threat to, already threatened to be lost, because we've already, before AI even happened, we have been focus testing and turning everything into bland messes, and turning our artists into people who are good at creating a bland mess. Like, look at just company logos, you know?
yes. I think that I think the marketing end of that has been way worse.
Yes, but it's kind of
And
where we're going in terms of just that mindset, which and that's like all kind of what half the battle is about, is not even the AI tools themselves, but the mindset that is pushing AI and the reasons they're doing it.
yeah, and I think, but the thing is, though, is and maybe I just have fucking more faith in humanity than I should. Uh, I think that there's always going to be artists who do want to do cool shit
Well,
and
yes,
express themselves in very unique, colorful ways, and I think that the corporate overlords don't understand. Uh, in the case of the logos, just as an example, like they're trying to appeal to all audiences, or not even appeal to all audiences, offend no audiences,
sure.
right? Like that's the big distinction, and I think that is something we as a fucking society, especially in business, need to get over. Is just like stop giving a shit about if you offend one person, because you're probably gonna reel in like 10 that actually dig it.
You don't
And
have
it's
to be conqueror of the world. Everyone, there are different groups. There are many different groups, and you only
you
need
know,
to capture one group, maybe two, to be successful as a company. But it's about,
yeah,
especially as you get bigger, it's about getting more money, all of the money, you know.
yeah. It's the what's it called? It's once you hit EA Ubisoft size, that's what it is.
Yeah,
It's why EA, uh There is no AI in Battlefield, it seems like, from what all the Steam page and everything I'm seeing is. But that game had 4 development teams work on it.
Yes.
Because they needed it to be a hit.
Yep.
Like that that's the once you're that size, it's like, yeah, that's when that comes hard to say and hard to balance. And I actually have some stuff to say about that when we get to what we've been playing, because I put some time into Assassin's Creed Shadows, and it's
right.
It's a weird product.
Yeah.
Also, out of curiosity, I did have Chun-Li and Bloodborne get generated during this out of curiosity.
Okay.
Let me send this to you. It actually ended up being pretty all right.
All right. I'm not going to show on the stream, but yeah, let me take a look. Because the people generation in images has gotten so much better since those early days. There you go.
Yeah.
Not as much blue. I like a little lighter blue.
Yeah.
But yes, that's
yeah.
That's
it
did it.
Yeah. It did it. The robot did it.
Don't give her a sword. She's got. Also, those legs aren't big enough. Sorry.
Those look pretty big, man. I don't know.
We're talking Chun-Li here. We are talking about Chun motherfucking Li.
Let me tell the robot. Hold on.
AI is fun as a toy. There's the environmental impact. They really need to figure that out.
Yeah, that's the man. Like, that's the number one thing that I look at. And I go like, that's the fucking big problem here. Is like,
yeah.
You want to talk about it, like, yeah, there's the creative aspects, and we can go like, because there is the thought that I brought this up last week. Okay, what if it gets so good that if you are good enough with prompts, you can make exactly what you want to make as an artist?
Well, at that point,
right?
like we're talking about down to each individual line, and like you're practically doing art. Just you're not training your hand with hand-eye coordination, and that does not bother me as much.
It
still is, it also needs to not be necessarily be trained on artists, but I think if they got to that point.
Well, yeah, because like that's the thing that like, I like to look ahead to where can we take technology fully, right? Like that's one thing that's in my mind. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be, because like, in the early days of Photoshop, people are like, oh, like, this shit's never going to replace real photography, and now you can't find a photographer that doesn't use Photoshop for at minimum color correction.
And it's photographers are using it. Like, it's photographers that are still employed and they're using it as a tool. That's fine. AI is a little different.
Yeah. Also, I did your wish for our toy AI test.
There you go.
It went
there
the other
middle
direction.
Ground. Wait a minute. First of all, it's there's not even like muscle. That's like pure just fat, just kind of thighs. Good lord. I like the blue in the dress though. That's funny.
Oh lord.
Again, fun as a toy.
All right. It's a great toy, as long if only it didn't kill the environment.
That's the thing. It's the three things. It's about art is about humans expressing themselves. Two, it's about supporting people, getting our creatives food, clothing, shelter to live comfortably, because they should, like everyone else. And then three, it's like, hey, this burns a ridiculous amount of resources, and that really should be a top priority, especially for the communities where these get stuck in, the data centers get stuck in.
Yeah, there's a real fight about one of those going over at USA Parkway out in Reno.
Really?
A lot of people having talks about the effects on the power bill and whatnot. And I agree. It's just that I'm just monitoring it so closely. I had a very interesting conversation with my grandfather about it too, where like, he's like, it's just like, well, people will retaliate if it takes all these jobs. And I'm like, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
And it takes enough of them, like, do we go to UBI? Do we, like, what is the answer there?
I mean, there are some answers that I think would work, that are worth exploring, but it requires people who are interested in those answers. And everyone who is in a position of power influence is really invested in this system. Wonder why. Anyway,
that works.
yeah. Anyway, I mean, a lot of this backlash is because it's coming from Larian, who worked on Baldur's Gate 3, who, that attracted a lot of people who are of this kind of opinion. So I also think that's warranted. Whereas arc raiders, I don't think anyone gives a fuck. The finals, I
Yeah,
don't think a lot of people give a fuck.
yeah. I think that different audiences, of course.
And
Uh,
yeah, and then finally, I think if it gets big enough in AAA, I think people will. I think people who care about artist creativity and all that will have to just stop caring about AAA games and start being about making communities around the smaller games, which is something that should happen anyway
well,
with what video games are becoming.
I think that what's going to happen, and I talked about this, where I think that eventually there is going to be a boutique brand of AAA game.
Hmm.
It's kind of what Rockstar already is, kind of where Nintendo is headed. Where here, this is a AAA game that is made, mostly ethically outside of maybe some crunch. We worked on it for fucking ever. It's about as polished as you can possibly imagine. It's going to be $100 a copy,
Right.
but it's going to be amazing.
Yeah.
And I think that that you're going to see more publisher of that ilk. I think you're also going to see people, then yeah, you're going to see the AI slot game from studios like Ubisoft. You're going to see, like I'm so curious to watch this industry going forward.
Yeah. It's a
It
weird
is
time
going
right
to
now, man.
be.
Let me tell you.
I look forward to going on here Sunday mornings and really seeing where this goes over the next couple of years.
Yeah.
No. Anyway,
All right.
next news story.
Next news story. Let's check out what do we got here. All right. Let's see. I need to hit my macro so the titles are right when I go to. Okay. Nintendo will offer an alternative to Switch 2's controversial game key cards. Dev claims. So this isn't even. Wait, this is a claim.
Yeah, but so they came out and they announced it, and then they had to retract it. They're like, "Oh no, never mind. There's no official announcement."
Yeah.
So it's like, it's a real thing.
Right.
So game key cards have been criticized because it's basically just a license that you can sell.
Mhm.
The game is not on the cart. It is you put the cart into your system and download the game.
Right.
Because cartridges are expensive. So the vast majority of games are on key cards because there's only one card size available that's not key card, and it's 64 gigs. However, does it play? An X account claimed that Nintendo is planning to introduce two new card options, 16 gig and 32 gig, for offering cheaper physical releases. This was confirmed by ININ, which announced on social media its upcoming R-Type title would ship with a whole new game on Nintendo Switch Cart. After Nintendo announced two smaller sizes, then they, of course, had to retract it because the current game key card physically causes higher production costs. It would cause games to go up an additional $10. And that's probably why you saw the post about $80 games earlier in the year. Yes.
Yeah.
So, yep.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that this is cool. So here's the thing: it's hard for me to fucking really comment on this because I buy all my Switch games digitally because I don't want to lose cartridges. I have, so it's. I think that's cool. I think it's great to have more options. I'm happy for physical collectors.
Yes.
This game key card thing has been a big fucking people freaking out and complaining about it a whole bunch. I did not think it's that big of a deal. I still don't think it's that big of a deal.
I mean, this comes back to we want to preserve physical copies, right? And I think that is a good thing.
I think it's a good thing. I think that but the unfortunate part about preservation, outside of the Video Game History Foundation, which they're doing the Lord's work, I think a lot of it is going to come down to, yo, dog, we dumped all these moms on the internet. Go nuts.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there just needs to be. I mean, there just needs to be some sort of entity that's downloading all of these games, and see what we can do. This is going back to issues to stand on and where the line is. Digital is just far too convenient. I don't think. I don't think physical is good. but I don't know if people are going to hold the line.
Dude, people have already, dude, like, I think Capcom put out a report 89% of their games are bought digitally.
Yeah.
Like, it's just that ship has already sailed. I realized it was done, funnily enough, from our community. I forget what game it was, but it was last year. I was waiting for I was waiting for, I believe it was, I think, Like a Dragon or Tekken to come in, because I bought it physically at Best Buy. I pre-ordered it physically. I was gonna go pick it up, and most people bought it digitally. So people were playing, got like 9 hour, were playing at 9 at night the night before, and I had to wait until 10 in the morning the next day.
Yep.
So it's like, people are playing it sooner, you get it now. I've had people be like, yeah, but then I have to get up, put the disc in the system, and that's almost like, fucking, how lazy are we?
It's true,
How
though,
fucking lazy
Yeah.
are we? How fucking lazy can we get?
I know.
Oh, I at least understand the DoorDash people. You don't want to cook, fine. Like, I do not fucking, like, we can't put a disc. We're doomed as a race. We are doomed as a people. We are doomed as a species. Like, we're fucking so lazy we can't put a disc in a fucking system. Dear God.
I think there's this part of our brains from ancient times that has been helpful in a lot of ways and has hurt in a lot of really key ways, which is take the easiest path, whatever your problem is.
And it drives me fucking crazy. It drives me crazy because often the easiest path is the one that is the most manipulative or the worst for it.
Right.
It drives me fucking crazy.
But it's how we're losing the physical game. Like, it's kind of a foregone conclusion on what this is going to be. It's good that that Nintendo's offering an alternative, but it's the same with Xbox being always online. Like, it's not that way now, but man, we're getting there.
Yeah, that's God.
Yeah.
Go.
So good for Nintendo doing the new smaller cartridge thing, if this ends up being true, which it should be.
Yeah, and everything in the world says it is. I think it's good for preservation. It's just I just I think that the real secret to preservation is ROM dumps, and this is just nice for collectors, which, hey, has it been affected, and good on Nintendo for finding a solution to third-party woes, because in the past, Nintendo's response to third-party developers is, lol, get fucked, boy.
Right.
So
it's an improvement.
I guess good on them for improving.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, last news story.
I need to use the restroom real quick, so I'm going to pop this up, and you can take over reading this. It says, next Zelda game could be partly inspired by a recent spinoff?
Yeah, I've been playing that spinoff. I'll get into it. Zelda is celebrating its 40th anniversary next year, and Age of Imprisonment, the new Hyrule Warriors game, came out last month. It is a historical event Zelda timeline, so it goes back to the Imprisoning War that they mentioned in Tears of the Kingdom. Players can, and he said, a Newman interview says, Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment is the first Zelda title on the Switch 2. To be honest, we wanted to be the ones to release the first one ourselves, he said. Still, the inspiration we gained from collaborating with Koei Tecmo like this may be reflected in the next Zelda. As you play Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment, we'll hope you'll imagine the possibilities and look forward to our Zelda. That could be a lot of things, dog. There are multiple things in that game. There's straight up a Star Fox fucking mini game in that game. Like, there are like Star Fox levels, but you play. So because it's set in the Imprisoning War way in the past, Link isn't in it. So their Link stand-in is a Zonai construct that looks and fights like Link, but he can also turn into a jet.
Oh.
Like that's it. That's his super. Is he like turns into a jet and bombs the enemy?
Good lord.
Uh, yeah. So I think that okay, are they going to add like more Zone Eye stuff? Are they going to add more gameplay types? Are they going to add swappable characters? Because that's something you do in that game. Is like you'll have 3 to 4 characters in a map all fighting, and then you'll swap to do different things with the press of the D-pad. Uh, that game's been really fun. I've really enjoyed it. It's definitely still a Muso game, but it's a really good Muso game.
That's good. All right.
It has a lot of fun variety in it. I will say that every time I finish a side quest, it opens up like 3 more. And I'm like now at the point where I'm going into every main story mission like 10 levels over where I should be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm kind of curious what they'll take. I'm debating if it's like, are they going to take the scale? Are they going to take the size? Are they going to take the weird side things? Yeah, there's a lot they could do. Next year, as they says, the 40th anniversary of Zelda. I'm kind of curious what they're going to do for that. The 35th anniversary really only got Skyward Sword HD and some special Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they do a little more here. Like, I don't know, maybe taking those 2 Wii U HD games and putting them on Switch.
Oh, interesting. What a thought.
So I can finally play every Zelda game on my Switch, except the DS ones, but those don't matter because they're bad.
Oh.
Yeah. The 3DS one rocks.
Right.
Link Between Worlds rules, not Phantom Choo Choo.
Got it.
Those ones not as good. So yeah, I mean it's a cool. Yeah.
All right.
There's a lot they could do.
Yeah.
Maybe just more actiony combat. Give you some big, that's another option.
Right.
So
I wonder what they'll do.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Sweet. That was the news.
So that was the news. Now on to what we've been playing.
Yes.
You as you clearly said in our little chat we do to organize this show, nothing frowny face.
I mean, so we did some split fiction for the Let's Play. You should check that out. We also played a little bit of World of Warcraft. Got myself some gear, so that was nice.
Yeah.
But as far as anything worth like talking about on my end, nah, not really. Haven't had the time.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. I know you moved in a new place, which that and trying to get settled, and that's work in its own right.
It is, and I've got more work today. So.
Yeah. No. I would today. Today's actually pretty chill for me. I have to pack a little bit for the Christmas trip, but otherwise I'm. So I got all my cleaning done yesterday, so we come home to a nice clean house for Christmas.
Nice, yes.
I know, like that's gonna be good shit.
All right. Cool. What about you though?
All right, so, yeah, I actually played a pretty good amount this week. I finished Ghost of Yote.
Mm-hmm.
That game is great. It is a great open world action adventure game. I absolutely love, like, it is one of the most gorgeous games I've ever played. Almost every single area I look at, I wanted to take a screenshot because I'm like, that looks gorgeous.
Right.
That looks gorgeous. Like, and it's not just because like it's technically proficient. It's just like the level of artistry in making these zones looks incredible.
Right.
When I was playing the game, I was trying to get burnt out, and I couldn't figure out why because I enjoyed the first like 2/3 of it so much. And it's just, and I figured it out because the end of the game I really loved, which is there is this zone you go to. It's called Teshio Ridge, and it's way, way, way up in the mountains in the north, and it is all just snow-capped mountains. It's the only thing it's snow-capped mountains, so it's just a lot of repetitive scenery. And the enemy and faction you're fighting there is a like group of shinobi that will just hide in the snow and randomly pop out at you.
All right.
And it's not like difficult to deal with. It's just annoying. Like you're just running and just pop down the snow. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. And then because it's like shinobi hidden bases and dens, there's a lot of puzzles. And navigation, but the problem is those puzzles are not engaging because even though this is an M-rated game, they feel like they're designed for morons.
Oh, okay.
Because it's like they give you like a cipher,
Mhm.
but it's like super obvious. Like this symbol means go this way, or match these symbols together. Okay, light all the torches. Make sure you light them all, stupid.
Right, yeah.
And it's like, guys, this is an M-rated game. You didn't have to make the puzzles for children.
Mm,
Like God of War Ragnarok doesn't have like complicated puzzles, but at least they're like interesting.
yeah.
You know, at least they require a little bit of thought. This was just like, I'm literally just matching symbols to symbols. This is dumb. This is an immense waste of my time. So like when I loved the story of that zone, the twist they did with it,
Mhm.
but like the playing it and the entirety of that zone was a real miss for me. So like by the time I got through that, I'm like, oh, God, I'm so burnt out. But then I do the last zone, which is the Oshio Coast, and it like got super good again. It got
Gotcha.
super like awesome. It's a great zone. There's all these cherry blossom trees and this big samurai castle in the middle, and the story ends in a very good, powerful way and conveys a good message. I think that so I think that that game would have been better without Teshio Ridge.
I see.
That's the the conclusion I came from. Is I was cruising through that game, having a great time, and I hit Teshio Ridge and just did a standstill. Um, so that's kind of my big concern, I guess you'll call it,
Okay.
with the game. But otherwise, it's great. It's a solid action adventure game. The skill tree is a lot of fun. The game is beautiful. I did the full bounty side quest. That was really cool, like doing all the bounties. I think Atsu is a very likable character. I think that the story is a little too ambitious
Hmm.
because so the point of the story is like you're tracking down and killing the Yote Six for killing your family,
Right.
right? That's the whole deal. Like when you were a child, they came and burned down your home and killed your parents and your brother, or you thought they killed your brother.
Mhm.
You found he was alive eventually through this story. And the story that the game tries to tell you is that like vengeance just begets more vengeance,
Right.
but it doesn't. But if you're not like reading the like items and letters you find, you would not have gotten that impression until like the last 20% of the story.
Interesting.
Combined with the fact that there are 6 villains for the game. It is the Yote 6.
Yeah.
But it's actually 5 because you kill the first one during the tutorial.
Right.
And it's the Oni, the Kitsune, the Saito brothers, and Lord Saito.
Okay.
I feel like you could have either sped some of those up or gotten rid of like the Oni and the Kitsune and fleshed out Lord Saito in the direct story way more. Because when you read the side content, like you find out stuff about Lord Saito, and you're like, you know, he's a fucking asshole, but I understand why he's a fucking asshole.
Mhm.
This dude has been betrayed and fucked over so many times. Like, my God, yeah, okay, I see why he's doing what he's doing. And and you find out about his family when you're trying to rescue your brother towards the end of the game. And I don't want to spoil anything, but there's this character that gets put into the game that is a child that is kind of like a that your character sees you as herself as a young person. And when you're looking at that, it's like I feel like it's one of the few times I wish a child character was introduced sooner to help build that like parallel
Huh.
of the path you can take as with vengeance or not.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, I liked the game though. I still liked it. I just think the story was they were trying to handle too much. I think that I would have loved to see more Lord Saito and more of him as the main villain because the stuff with him and his sons was really compelling. I think you could have honestly just done those 3 and been a more than competent story. Yeah. As for the gameplay, it is badass.
Okay.
So you get through the game. You unlock 4 different types of weapons: katana, dual katana, spear, giant sword, and kunai or kusagi. And they're better. Each one of those is better against certain types of weapons. That said, I just use dual swords all the time because it's really fucking cool. And also, there's this dual sword attack you can unlock that burns some of your spirit. Those little orb meters there.
Yeah.
And the thing is if you have enough of those, which you get them by doing side content, but if you have enough of those, you can just continually chop off people's hands.
Right.
And like the way that Ghost of Tsushima came out is like, as you'd play, the villagers and whatnot would become more noticed of you. It's like, oh, it's the ghost. And in this game, it's the Onryo, which is like, a vengeful, murderous ghost.
Right.
And you start getting more well-known. You start going to bounty boards and seeing your name with higher and higher bounties from Lord Saito.
Mm-hmm.
But the hilarious part for me is that, like, because I figured out this chain attack with the dual sword special, my own Rio just kept cutting off people's fucking hands.
Right.
So I have this head canon now of Atsu just loves chopping off people's fucking hands.
Yeah.
She loves it. It's her favorite thing. Yeah. The pistol they added's cool. You now parry with a pistol during standoffs.
Wow,
It's neat. Yeah. I do wish she got the pistol a little sooner, but I think it's a great action adventure game. I think it's one of the better ones of these. It's still kind of that generic open world game, but it's kind of the best you can do with it.
Right.
And turns out I will still enjoy one of those if you make a really good one.
Right.
Okay. So yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this made me want to play Assassin's Creed Shadows though. Because part of it's because when I paid for it, I was in the middle of Teshio Ridge, and I thought, am I burnt out on this kind of game? Is Ghost of Yote worse than Tsushima? Or do I just not remember kind of mediocre samurai games well?
Right.
Right. And I bought Assassin's Creed Shadows because it was on sale at Best Buy. I got it for $30. And I played through the first 5 hours. First off, I want to say this right now. If your game starts with 18 minutes of walking and cutscenes, fuck you. Fuck you immediately. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. That is my response. If the intro to your game is 18 fucking minutes of cutscene and the only gameplay is walk forward, fuck you. Okay, now I got that out of the way.
Okay, good.
Yeah. As for okay, I wrote notes for this because it was such a getting into this game, it felt like I was not playing a game, as it was the ultimate, this is not art, or this is not a fun game, this is product.
Okay.
Because when you install the game on the PlayStation menu, you know how like games will have their little music and their little title card on the menu there? This does not have like regular art or music. It is promoting whatever they're promoting currently.
Okay.
So like in this case, it was an Attack on Titan crossover.
Oh my god. Okay.
And then I load up the game, but it does not load into Assassin's Creed Shadows. It loads into a launcher for all Assassin's Creed games.
Oh.
That are like Origins onward. Which, I talked about this last week. And then I boot into the game, and it has me pick a difficulty, which is fine.
Yeah.
It has me sort out the graphics, which is fine. But then it does something to me that very clearly sets this up as like, this is not a game to enjoy. This is product. Because the game lets you make a couple additional choices where it says you can choose to play the story where you make the dialogue choices, or you can have it do the canon version of the story where there's no dialogue choices. I'm like, what's the point of that? What is the point of that fucking decision? Like, okay, so are you saying that you don't like the story you're making and they might like this other one that they choose? Like, why? Like, and that's a lot of the RPG mechanics in this game. I'll get in that more in a minute.
Okay.
Where, like, I feel like the RPG-ness of this game makes it worse.
Hmm.
Like, it's very just fucking weird and annoying. But anyway, same thing with exploration. It has this option to make it so just everything on the map is revealed right from the get-go, so you don't have to even climb the towers anymore if you don't want to.
I love that one of the big things about Assassin's Creed is like, well, we know it's annoying. You can skip that.
Yeah. Then why not take it out of the game?
Right.
Anyway. But every part of getting into this game does not feel like I'm signing up to play a like amazing action adventure experience. A samurai game. It feels like we made the video game product. It is the product of the video game to consume for samurai. I wrote notes here that I sent to Anthony.
Okay.
I do love how they continue to put actual historical figures in this.
Yeah, that's fun. I think that's dumb fun.
Yeah. So like opening cutscene has Lord Nobunaga in it. Oda Nobunaga.
Sure.
Yeah. You have a nice conversation with him. It's cool. Let's see. Parrying way easier than Ghost of Yotei. The parry windows are like a mile fucking huge.
Sure.
Stealth is pretty fun. I enjoyed the stealth gameplay.
Okay.
Like you can, it does the Splinter Cell thing where you can get more darkness by taking out lights. You can do it with your kunai.
All right.
That shit's pretty cool. I like how the stealth gameplay loop is actually really fun. The only thing I don't like is everything feels very sticky. Like getting to jump to the wall or thing you want feels very hard at times. Where it's like, no, just go this way. God damn it. Which for me has been a problem with Assassin's Creed forever.
Right.
So, that's nothing new.
Nope.
Yeah, and then presentation wise, so the Ghost games are very much like the romanticized Kurosawa version of Japan or the anime version of Japan. This feels like they are trying to do two things at once. Okay. Or even three things. Like they're trying to do the Hollywood version of Japan while also doing the realistic version of Japan, but it's also a video game. So they're trying to do a video gamey, and it's like kind of failing at all of them. Like it feels like it entirely has none of the mastery of like presentation that Ghost of Yotei has.
I mean, yeah, I think I gotta say what I've been looking at in this trailer, I've generally enjoyed the environments and how they've been laid out. I think Yotei beats them, but I think that was a losing battle anyway.
Yeah, but like it's like after going from Tsushima and Yotei to this though, it's just like these environments just feel so fucking flat for what is essentially the exact same setting.
Sure.
And I think that they're like fine. And that's kind of like my whole view of the game. It's actually better than like my impression of Valhalla was this is just complete bullshit. This is nonsense. The video game. This is like product for product's sake. There's a little artistry and good game here. Like I enjoyed taking out like enemy base camps and whatnot. I enjoyed doing the stealth. Combat's fine. It's kind of mashy, but it's not like the end of the world. I think that like it's good. It's like not horrible. It's not like Valhalla where after the 5 hours I was like, I never want to play this ever again.
Right.
They do something that I feel is a massive waste of time though.
Okay.
So there'll be points in the story where you have to track down or hunt someone. And the way they do it is you have to use your spy network. So you read instructions on like, okay, it's north of here to the west of here in this province. And you mouse over to there on the map, and then you send spies. And if you're right, it puts the objective on the map. If you're wrong, it makes you try again. And if you do that 4 times and fail, you have to head back to base and then change the season. And there's like this whole base building mechanic where you get more spies and more people, and
Right.
like it has a whole base building thing, like showing on screen right now. Isn't that perfect? And then they add like MMO style gear mechanics to it.
Right.
Like as once again, you're seeing on screen right now. Um, it just feels like it is trying to be everything and excelling at almost nothing
Hmm.
as well. And then I feel like once again for the setting, they have these moments where they will play like Japanese style samurai music, but then inject a little rock into it to make it sound cool. Or they'll try and do like a cutscene that is supposed to be really cinematic, but like an old samurai movie, but it's kind of just okay. The whole experience I can say from the samurai presentation end of it is we have Ghost of Yotei at home.
Sure.
I think from the stealth end of things, it's a lot of fun. I think the combat is mediocre as hell.
Gotcha.
It is like it's fine. It's okay.
Okay.
I think you could do worse. I think it's probably the best one of these they've made in a while. I did not play Mirage. I heard Mirage was more of them going back to original Assassin's Creed, and I think that this game would have benefited from that. It feels needlessly padded. It feels like there's mechanics for the sake of having mechanics because they're popular, like the gear mechanic.
Right.
And I think getting into the game is like insulting. Also, the game thinks you are way too into its story already from the get-go. It assumes that you're already like ready to rock because there are multiple points in that first 5 hours where it's just like, we're gonna sit and talk at you and walk a whole bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think if you like Assassin's Creed, you're gonna fucking love it.
I think that's the
I
thing.
think if
I
you're
think that there are people who, they find a franchise and they will just ride with it until it's ridden into the ground. And this game seems like it's going to continue the Assassin's Creed success.
I think that this one is like the last one that people wanted, the ninja one.
They've been asking for that for a while.
Well, and the thing is like Ghost of Tsushima was it.
That's the thing.
And,
Exactly.
and like if people were saying like the only way I could recommend this game is if like you platinumed and finished Tsushima, you platinumed and finished Yotei, you want and need another samurai game, ninja game.
Yep.
And you're like, well, I mean, this one's all right. It's not bad. It's not, like if you're looking for like a decent open world kind of action adventure kind of RPG thing, you could do worse.
Right.
Like it's like because like what is after the Ghost game? It's what it's like this or Rise of the Ronin, right?
Right. As far as I know.
So it's like. So yeah, you have 4 of these, dog. So I guess if you're really into this setting and you want this kind of action adventure samurai ninja thing, you kind of have 4 games. Enjoy them.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say though, if you are trying to get into that kind of game, go play the Ghost games first. They're way better than this.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the last thing I played was some more Digimon Time Stranger. I got my Metal Greymon.
Sweet.
Also, once you get a big enough Digimon like Metal Greymon, you can ride them.
Yes.
It's hold on. Let me. I got a screenshot I can send you. Hold on. Give me one sec. Look at me riding my Metal Greymon.
And this in the should be able to. Come on now. All right, we can get the first half of that photo there.
That
2/3 of
there.
it.
All
And,
right, yeah,
look at
that's
that.
fun.
It's like holding you on your hand. I was expecting on the back, but that's funny.
Nah. So I got my first ultimate, which is Metal Greymon, and I also found a mechanic that I would actually love to see them bring to Persona and maybe even Pokemon.
Okay.
So Digimon has multiple evolutions that are done by doing what is known as a DNA fusion, which is where you fuse two Digimon together to make a new Digimon.
Hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's really fucking cool. I like that. Persona already does that. That's how you make some new personas.
Yeah.
Is you fuse multiple personas together, sometimes 5 or more, to make a new one. One, I think that'd be cool to do for Pokemon. I don't know how you would put that into Pokemon, but that's for them to figure out, not me.
Right.
And but the combat adds that in. What it does is if you have two Digimon that can be fused together in your 3-person combat party, it will, if you haven't digivolved them together yet, it'll let you use moves as if they're digivolved. So they will digivolve for the move, then undigivolve.
Oh, weird.
But instead of burning 1 turn each, it burns both their turns.
Okay.
So you can get a more powerful, stronger attack in, or an AoE attack, but you are burning both those Digimon's turns, so it adds kind of a risk-reward aspect to it.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like that a lot. It's just kind of a nice mechanic that I ran into last night when I had Stingmon and Vmon in my party.
Okay.
Because like I never had them in the party before together, and I like was going to attack with one, and I was like, whoa, what the fuck? I didn't have these moves before. And then like and then it like warns me, this is a DNA attack. This is going to use both of them at once. Be ready. Otherwise, it's still a fun JRPG. Like if you're into Persona and Pokemon, like you'll probably enjoy this. It has cool monsters in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Like ran into a giant octopus man, shark monster man.
All right.
I have a robot T-Rex that fires rocket launchers out of his titties.
And that's the thing. Of all the monster franchises out there, Digimon has a track record as long as Pokemon. So.
Yeah, and there are some ones that are real wild. I mean, the best part is all my favorite ones are like from the first 2-3 series. Right. Like it's and they've gotten weird, man. I saw a fucking a thing that looked part hawk, part man, part RoboCop when I was in a town.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this? In the story, you run into and this one I remember because he was in the second season of the anime, but like it's part armadillo, part submarine. And I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous.
Okay, sure. Whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's a cool game. I would say in terms of quality, I would say it's definitely not all the way up to Persona or Mega 10, but it's kind of not down where Pokemon's mainline interests have been in recently. It's kind of right in the middle.
Okay.
If you are looking for an RPG with cool ass monsters to catch and evolve and fight with,
yeah,
it's pretty good. I like it. It's a great portable game. I love playing it on my deck.
Cool. Awesome. All right.
Also, I'm putting that as the podcast title. Hold on.
Yeah, we gotta type this out.
Yeah.
Give us a second.
Fire missiles out of your titties.
Titties won't get us censored, right?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'll have to look that up.
Yep.
I'll find a stand-in for boobs if I have to.
They can't censor us for tatas.
Just I mean, Anthony Ta works here, so I mean, there you go.
Halfway there.
We're talking about him. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, that was kind of it. That's what I played. put some minor time. I keep making progress on Hyrule Warriors. I don't really have much to say on that beyond it's a Warriors game with some cool stuff added.
Yep.
I got some games for Christmas from friends because I sent most of my gifts out to people on the 19th because going to San Francisco, I didn't want to have to worry about gifting while on the road.
Yeah.
So I sent them out on the 19th, and some people decided to gift back immediately. One of those games was the remake of Katamari Damacy.
Ooh.
So I'm looking forward to hopping into Katamari Damacy for the first time in about 20 years.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Nice. I like it.
Yeah. Plus, hearing Jeff talk about all, I'm like, yeah, I remember Katamari Damacy being fucking awesome. I'll play some of that.
Yeah.
So
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, that was basically it.
All right.
Anyway,
Yeah, we got a few more. There are still plenty of games that have come out this year. We got a little more time before our own game of the year happens. So.
Yeah. So very much like Nintendo, we wait for the actual end of the year. Which means our game of the year will be the 4th or the 11th of January.
Yep.
So enjoy that. Podcast is going to be me next week, most likely, unless someone else sees me in the Discord and is like, I'm bored, I want to go do that.
Right.
But otherwise, it's going to be just me, everyone else on vacation, having a good time. I will be back in Reno by then and online doing stuff. We promise we're still working on those 3 edited videos. They're coming along.
They're coming along.
I feel like we're Blizzard in the 2000s. It's finished when it's finished.
That's the way it is. It is finished when it's finished.
All right, guys. Bye. We love you.